Okay, good evening, everyone. To start today's webinar on Roto Moulding Looking Beyond Water Storage Tank. To deliver the welcome speech, I would like to invite Mr. P.P. Pereira, Vice President of PRISL. Mr. Pereira, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Chaminda. Good evening, everyone, and members of the Council of Management of the Plastic Sarava Institute of Sri Lanka. I have been entrusted to give you the welcome address by our President of our Institute, Mr. Kalyana Dirasekara. So I would like to welcome Dr. Trivedi. I think he is no stranger to us. He has been in Sri Lanka with Capital Maharaja Group, and by what we have discussed before the session started, we have met in Ahmedabad in Plast India exhibition, I think in 2017 or 18. And he's all, Mr. Pio will give an introduction about Dr. Prasant Trivedi, so I'm not going to go into details about him. And thank you all the participants who have joined us. I noticed, there were about 48 registrations so far, for 30 has joined. And as usual, people will join today being a weekday. And also with these travel problems in the island, it takes a long time to reach your homes. Today, in fact, it took me about 1 hour to reach home. So this topic, Roto Moulding, I'm not a plastic expert. My field of expertise in the rubber manufacturing industry. What caught me, what struck me is not the roto moulding, but looking beyond the water storage tank. This is the point that has caught my attention. You see, we are used to seeing at these exhibitions the roto moulding and demonstrations even in Sri Lanka. But I'm sure Dr. Trivedi will describe to you what are the applications and the modern trends and the technology that have been developed on water storage. Now, talking of water storage, I'd like to just give one example from our ancient history. About 1,100 years ago, we had the king called King Parakramabahu. One of his stone inscriptions clearly spells as follows: let not a drop of water falling from the sky go to the ocean without serving man and the earth. So I think Mr. Trivedi must be familiar during his stay in Sri Lanka about the great irrigation systems we have, the man-made storage tanks, those things, which is our, ancient heritage and the ancient technology. This is what caught my attention today. I'm sure Mr. Trivedi is going to talk on various new applications and new trends, which will be beneficial to the audience, especially to the young technologists and the technicians who can gain knowledge, a lot of knowledge and update their knowledge to apply and look into new ways of applying technology, which is a much needed trend at the time like this. We all know what state Sri Lanka is in at the moment. We all need new ideas, constructive ideas, not destructive ideas. So I'm sure this session will be very fruitful, and I wish all of you a fruitful deliberation in the next 1 hour or so. So thank you very much. Over to you, Pio.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pereira. Now I would like to introduce the moderator of today's program. He is Mr. Pio Pereira, Assistant Secretary of PRISL, as well as the Chairman of the Seminars, Publications and Image Building Committee. Mr. Pio, you can take over now.
Thank you, Shaminder. Again, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us today. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you all our key resource person, Mr. Prashant Trivedi, for our session today on rotational molding, looking beyond water storage tanks. I had the pleasure of interacting with him during his assignment in Sri Lanka as a Director Technical of Eslon from 2004 to 2006. He's a pioneer in rotational molding. He holds a first-class honors Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and a master's degree in organic chemistry, as well as a postgraduate diploma in plastics processing technology from Central Institute of Plastics Engineering and Technology. Whilst his career spans nearly 4 decades in the plastic industry, he currently serves as the Head of Operations, BU, Engineering Plastics, Head of Operations at Loxim Industries Limited, India. Whilst he devotes his full time there, he also devotes his time as the India Plastics Institute's regional chairman for Ahmedabad chapter. His accolades are many and too lengthy to mention during this short time. So without further ado, let me hand over this session to Mr. Prashant Trivedi. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pio, for a good introduction. And namaskar, everybody, and ayobwan. The subject, what has been given to me, I would like to showcase here 3 important aspects which I would like to share with you all. One is basically looking at the scenario, what roto molding industry is happening, and talk relevant to the Sri Lankan geographical requirements and need. Second thing would be showcasing the important developments which has happened globally, and what a technological advancement is happening worldwide. The important aspect to understand here would be to grasp whatever suits to the country's need and the requirement. That would be the more important aspect, because not all products or not all products visualized or seen may be giving you a business opportunities. The third and the most important part of my presentation would be that I would like to share some technical troubleshooting activities and the solution providing, so that at the end of the session, basically you have some subject to take back and to implement in your shop floor. So with these 3 aspects, I will be starting my presentation to you all. Hope it would be interesting, and basically you will love it to look at it. Questions are welcome always. You can check on the questions, and at the end of the session, I will be able to respond to your specific question with a specific answer. So with this, I start my presentation. So when we talk about roto molding, the common understanding is that roto molding technology has been a common word or synonymous word. Basically, when you say roto molding, it's the first thing comes in mind is water tank, and it has been globally seen that way only. But when you see the business also, roto molding tanks are the bread and butter for this technology. Many of the roto molders whom you met or you must be seeing in your country also are basically, our major business is roto molding. The reason is that the infrastructure has never gone down, and it is always an added opportunities which has been ever coming to them. Now, this technology is also not very costly. The entry levels of investments are not very high, and that is one of the reasons also that many people have been coming into this industry. The good part is that there are a lot of manufacturers who are coming to the part. The bad part is that a lot of unorganized sector with low thoughts on the quality and the product integrity are also been entering into this business, which sometimes basically gives the bad name for the technology and the product. So the problem is that the low investment organization or the smaller organization, they will never think anything other than tanks. So the problem there is that there's a good opportunity for the organized roto molders or the molders who have a vision to develop and to think out of box. So when you see that, you have to think beyond. When you are thinking beyond, you have to see that what are the other potential sector of businesses. You have to see that what are the things we can develop, looking at the local scenario, geographical requirements, the need of people. But that doesn't mean that you should go out of business, because your bread and butter, your business to run or to sustain, water tank business is going to be along with that. But going beyond water tanks brings in innovation, opportunities, and businesses. The organization will always move ahead, overcoming commodity business and customer-centric business. See, what is happening is that water tank business has become a commodity business. You are never in direct contact with the customer and the usage problems and issues. You have always an intermediary between the customer and the manufacturer. So you are not a customer-focused or customer-centric business person. You are always a dealer-dependent or an intermediary-dependent organization, where you don't know the actual meaning or message conveyed by customer to you. When you think about it, or when you do not think about it, you fail at long run. You will not be able to be a sustainable business people. Now, when you think beyond water tanks, you have to see that you have to create a facilitation, and your system has to be improved upon, where the new products and its application, you have to go for a good design capability. You have to improve your quality upliftment, and also you have to go beyond your brand image, which you want to create in the business. Now, for this, you have to change your mentality. You have to change your attitude towards customers' need. You have to discipline yourself, and you have to follow standardization. It's not important, as I started my presentation, that it is very important that not all new products will have a feasibility in the country where you belong. New opportunities and product development is directly related to the local needs and opportunity. You have to understand very clear that you cannot build a rocket when it is not needed. If you develop a rocket, there will be no application. So you have to understand that what is need by the country, what is need by the region, and you can always follow that path to create a product which is relevant to the need and the requirements. So your local needs and opportunities need to be studied and analyzed. Replacing conventional product or to develop indigenous resource or an import substitute. These are the three factors which are going to play a vital role for you to go beyond tank manufacturing or for a new development. You can look for export opportunities, but the problem here is that most of the roto molding parts or roto molding technology is volume based. It's a hollow product, and hence logistically it may never be turn out to be a cheaper option to transport or to send your product to the other part of the world. You will see most of the roto molder in India. If you see, we are a large geographical area. most of the roto molder has got 3 or 5 manufacturing centers to cater the local requirements. You cannot supply a water tank from one region, from the western part where I belong, to the north or eastern part or southern part of India. In similar case in Sri Lanka also, people have gone for multiple location plants. When I was in Sri Lanka, we had 3 plants. One was in Anuradhapura and one was in uh, Gaul, down south. So we were able to cater the requirement of most of the island, and we were able to justify the cost and the value. The other important part is that when you see an opportunity, I will come down to that also for the contract manufacturing. There are certain products which needs to be used at the time of project execution or where are needed during the project stage. And for that, you require to have a local manufacturing facility or local manufacturing technology availability. So we need to look at that option as well, where the people coming from other part of the world coming down for a project execution and are looking for a product which is made through roto molding need to be sourced from that same area or the location. Working along with government and design institutes for product development is a social importance, and they are very, very important. The institution and industry relationship is going to play a vital role. PRI can also play a vital role in getting the product developed, connecting industry and institute together, because not many industry will be able to sustain or can have their own design department in their manufacturing state. So it is very important that there should be a collaborative work being happen between institute and industry as well as association. Very important part, change mindset. The water tank business, if you see, is a product where once you sell the product, you are least bothered about knowing what has happened to the product or what is going to happen at the end of the life of the product as well. Till the tank works at the customer end, you are never been bothered about it also. So you become slightly lethargic on knowing the need of customer, or you are least bothered about it. So it is very important that from the level of organizational leadership, every individual in the organization needs to overcome the conventional business thought process. They have to go beyond that and has to become a customer-centric approach needs to be there. The organization needs to be directed and move towards standardization and customer-oriented approach. That's very important, because whenever you are talking beyond water tank, you are in directly connect with the customer needs and customer. Now, when you are in direct need connect with the customer and their needs, standardization would be a very important character, and you need to understand the customer requirements as well. Quality and the specification needs to be diligently followed and understood. That's very, very important. If you need to understand the customer, you need to understand his needs, the quality requirement, and the specification. Design capabilities need to be created. Many organizations may be able to create this facility, but there are a lot of resources available globally as well. People do come forward and can work together with you. And also institutes, engineering institutes in Sri Lanka can come up. I think Mr. P.P. Pereira introduced, I am not able to, who is expert in finite element analysis. And that sort of department or that sort of expertise which is available in Sri Lanka, they can be a good resource for creating a design facility, either in the institute, or they can create a resources for the industry as well. Manufacturing standardization and systems are to be kept in place. That is very, very important. You have to make your facility, manufacturing facility, following the systems and the standardization. Another important, the tank business, when you see, not much efforts have been given on the machines and equipments. There are a lot of gaps. There are a lot of things which we, as a tank manufacturer, we don't look at. But when bringing down and when thinking beyond tanks, it is very important that you have to introduce good technology with appropriate investment on the equipment and machinery. It's very, very important. And I don't want to make an issue where basically people think that for going in new technology, you always need to go for investments. But my concern here is that if you have a equipment, you can make it advanced, you can maintain it well to give the product of your need as per the customer need. That's very important. So it's very important to identify the sector and the businesses. When you see a roto molding, I don't have to give the definition of it, but then it's a product which is seamless and hollow. Everybody knows about it. Now, the most important part is that it gives you seamless, hollow, stress-free product, which is the best benefit any technology can give. And no technology has got that feasibility which a roto molding can give you. But again, when it is a hollow product, the logistics is one of the most important concerns for everybody. Sri Lanka has been an island country, and there are a lot of various opportunities we can look beyond water tanks. It will not be a very big market. It will be a niche market. Though an appropriate solution is being provided to the customer, the margin gains are good. And further, it will also establish your position in the market. The brand status is improved. The quality standards of your manufacturing system is improved. Your attitude toward customer is improved. And the good market research and studies needed with this, with good design capability, in-house or outsourced, will help furthermore in going near to your customer needs and requirements. I have identified some sectors and business. I may be having some gaps here because a lot of changes have happened since I have left Sri Lanka. And when I was in Sri Lanka, I had a lot of moving around Sri Lanka, looking at the needs and requirements. But I have jotted down some products which basically I felt that the geography of Sri Lanka would be looking at such developments. Many of the industry may have already gone into these products. I understand that as well. So for them, it may not be a new thing, but just to share my knowledge and experience and some thought which has gone behind, I would like to share with you. There are 6 or 7 major sectors which I feel that which are going to play a vital area where the development can be worked and people can work into that region to do that activity. One is the industrial. A lot of industrial development is happening everywhere. Even the Sri Lanka is going forward in many of the industries. The chemical industry is coming down, the oil industry, packaging, repackaging, a lot of other needs are coming down. Fishing industry is one of the biggest there. A lot of industrial packaging systems are coming down. So there is a good growth which is happening in industrial growth. Health and hygiene is another sector of business where we should look at it, that how products can be brought in or developed to cater health and hygiene. Sri Lanka is island, nothing to say about, surrounded by sea. A lot of marine products can work out very well. Even if you see a lot of rains are happening, a lot of waterlogging issues or flooding are the chances. There also a lot of products can be looked into and developed for the customer's need. Traffic furniture, the infrastructure is going good. As I was told that a lot of roads development, connectivity is being created in Sri Lanka now, and a lot of development happening in that direction also. So traffic furniture would be another very potential business and potential lookout for a Sri Lankan roto molding industry. Beautification and PlayStation. I understand Sri Lankans are very much fascinated with keeping their house, their place beautiful. They've got a lot of architectural inputs have been added into their homes and surroundings in offices also. And I've seen many beautiful houses with a lot of good furnitures and a lot of additional things. And I really had been appreciating that thing, which we normally don't find in India. But I have seen that the Sri Lankan houses and the surroundings are really maintained well and in a beautiful way. So this would be another sector where basically there is a good potential. Environment has always been a concern for everybody, and unfortunately plastics has been proven as a material which is an environmental hazard. But normally people's mind is only the plastic bags and the disposables. And that has brought in a bad impression about us. The reason being is that we litter a lot, we don't segregate the plastics, we don't use it properly and dispose it properly. And because of that, the whole family of plastics has been bashed, I would say, rather using other word, but they have been affected and it has gained a bad name. But when you see not a single minute of our life is without plastics. And I'm talking from my heart. And it is very important that to gain a good image about plastic, we as a plastic entrepreneur or plastic field person, we should individually be responsible for creating an awareness program wherein we demonstrate segregation at source and proper managing the plastic, the single-use plastic, or you can say any other plastic, for properly disposing and recycling. That would be our moral responsibility as a plastic fraternity. And I would request everybody to look at that as well, because it's a very important part to improve the image of plastics when you're thinking on that. So environment would be a very, very important sector of business where you can work and develop products and custom build products. And the other important sector of business which is also coming up is roto lining. That is the plastic lining into the metal structure. And that is a very, very unique technology. With the same machinery you can do it, but it will be a really fantastic product which takes care of a lot of negativity of the metal structure of corrosion and other parts, which is taken care by the plastic linings. A small note of caution here. Basically, the products and the photographs what are shown are the proprietary ownership. And I would request here that copying of the same would be a legal consequences. So it is just for a demonstrative purpose to look at the product, and self-developing and designing the product is independent of this. You can always look at it and design in the way you want or the need of that country. But a duplication of the product would be sometime putting you into legal consequences. And I'm acknowledging the organizations and the team or the design people from whom I have taken this photographs for the demonstrating you and sharing with you. When we see industrial sector, there are a lot of products which can go into various industry. It may be pharma industry, it may be food industry, it may be chemical industry, it may be re-storage and storage industry. And polyethylene, basically, which is a major contributor of this industry, LLDP to be specific, is one of the most neutral material and one of the most inherent material which basically can be used even for the food application and the chemical application. Most of the chemicals are resistant in this container, or PE is resistant to that. Food application, PE is considered to be one of the best material. It doesn't give, neither take anything from the food industry. So when you are packing this product into LDP or LLDP material, typically polyolefins, you can say it may be polypropylene, it may be HDP, high density polyethylene, low density polyethylene, or linear low density polyethylene. It's one of the best material for packing food material, food grade material. And this industry can be using this material without any hazards. There are products like pallets, which are very important. The pharma industry will always look forward to the pallets made out of roto molding, because pharma industry doesn't require a pallet surface with a rough surface or with any slotting. It will always look for a product which has got flat surface and can be cleaned or can be disinfected very easily. So rotomolded pallets has the most good application where you are going into the pharma and food industry, where it can be used into this connectivity. For the dairy industry, the plastic containers, which is very popular, and in India, all the milk containers, transporting milk containers of the low quantum, are been using this product, which is very, very popular. This is brand from Syntex, where I was working earlier. And this product has been so popular that one of the largest sector of business is going into this type of products. They may be insulated and they may be non-insulated as well. So that is a very big opportunity, because dairy industry in Sri Lanka is also growing. A lot of people are now basically having their own field of cows and buffaloes, and with the cooperative movement, which India is successful, even Sri Lanka also can go for that, and a lot of milk distribution can happen through this container mechanism. Crates are other products which are very important, either in packaging industry, food industry, industrial handling. Crates are popular. Injection molding crates have got limitation because they fail very fast, or their failure ratios are very fast. While because of the seamless, non-stressful product, the roto-molded crates are very strengthy and they have long life. Tank business beyond water tank, you have to think of underground tanks, or you have to think about chemical storage tanks. These are the products which are really, really important and can be looked at. When we see environment products, Sri Lanka, as it has been island country, and Mr. Pereira was saying about the irrigation mechanism in Sri Lanka, and I was really appreciate that during my stay in Sri Lanka, in Anuradhapura, I saw this virtually, and physically I understood the connectivity of the man-made lakes and what you call, I think, vevas. They are basically connected, and the water distribution system has been an historical evidence for the water, the way the water management was been done in Sri Lanka, and it's really highly appreciable. And that was the first thing which I was able to take away from there. And probably in India, it has now started, wherein in my state, basically the rivers have been connected and the lakes have been connected internally, and water management has been done. It is very important because most of the world are now water crisis, and a lot of pure water is now been wasted into sea, and most of the rivers and the sea are highly polluted. And for Sri Lanka as an island country, disposable of wastewater is also a big issue. You need to treat that water before it goes to the sea, or it needs to be made so clear so that it can be either used in irrigation or any other purpose where you are able to save upon the good water and use the recycled or treated water for any other applications. So underground tanks, septic tanks, these are all the things are very, very important. Waste bins for managing dry waste and wet waste are another important sector where you would like to put. Composting your wet waste, the domestic waste, and making compost out of it using in irrigation or agriculture is another product which basically is a very, very important thing. You can see this product. This is a very innovative and very good product. In Indian rural condition, we have to go half a kilometer, 1 kilometer to get water from the well or from the source of water. And people used to use the tank, which was small containers on their head to move around. But this is a velo wheel. Basically, it's a patented product, but this is a unique tank which can be rolled on the road. And you fill it with water. This has got a 40 liters capacity. And with the stand and this wheel, basically, you don't have to lift water on your head or anything. It can be just filled with water and can be pulled or pushed to a destination. And a very, very unique product, which has got a very potential in Indian state like Rajasthan, where the water crisis is there and you have to move kilometers to get water. So this product is made out of roto molding. Because of its own strength, it has got a very good strength and abrasive resistance. And this gives you a very good opportunity for developing such kind of, you may design something else, but you can look at the concept, which is very, very important here. Another important aspect of environment is the portable toilets. Again, the country needs it. Many of the villages or even in the urban areas also, there's a crisis of toilets and closed toilet system, which is a socio requirement. Today, open defecation and all these things are banned globally. So you need to have a toilets which are cheap, good, and can be installed very fast. So this is one of the product that can be very well made by roto molding. Even the bottom base can also be roto molded and made out of roto molding process. So this is a product which is very, very popular in India as well. Many infrastructure products are going where temporary structures and temporary toilet systems are need to be incorporated. And these are the product of choice. You can always go. You can have a septic tank below it, and you can have a local basically treatment of your the excretion which is coming out of the toilets. That can be managed well. It doesn't go for underground deposition, and you save upon the underground groundwater resources as well. If you have a treated tank or septic tank below this toilets, and you can save upon. Another important product, what you can see are the two type of biogas plant, because a lot of animals are there, a lot of your wet waste is coming, biological waste is coming, that can be converted, which is a good resource of energy and methane gas. This floating type biogas plant, which you see in a blue color, and there is a fixed biogas plant. Both of these are well known globally, and a lot of production is happening globally where biogas is getting popular. This is a product also is very, very unique and very, very important for a country like Sri Lanka, where you can implement these products. And these are all products are proven products, and there's no R&D required for the performance. It's a proven product. Only thing is that you have to change the design, and the methodology remains the same. Another product, which is a solar water heating system. This is again for Sri Lanka. I don't see much requirement, because, but I have seen every house in Sri Lanka is having a solar water heating system. This is an alternate to the glass lined, and this will not give you water to a level of 70 or 80 degrees, but it will surely give water to 36 or 40 degrees or 45 degrees. And this is a complete plastic reflector and the storage tanks, and it can be very well made through roto molding technology. Another important sector of business is medical assistance. Typically, these are the products which has got important, but my specific lookout would be the vaccination boxes, insulation medical boxes for us, our country like Sri Lanka, the stretchers, and the portable stretchers. These are the four products which I see that it has got a huge potential, and one should look at it. A lot of needs are there at any time of a year where you need medical assistant or medical assistance. The other products are good, but they may not turn out to be a feasible product or cost beneficiary to the industry. But I've been shown this is an opportunity, and we can always look at outsourcing it or getting it into the Indian market. I'm just showcasing the possibility. The choice is yours, and you can become the selective looking at the business potential here. But for me, I see the insulated containers, the portable stretchers would be a great usage and great potential for developing this product in industry. Another important sector of business is the traffic furniture, and this is a very important. The traffic barriers, the cones, the bumpers, the restrictors. These are all products which are today need of a day. Sri Lanka roads are developing. When I was there, it doesn't have much amount of development. There are too many narrow roads, but now you find good highways, good roads. But as the development comes, a lot of modification development goes during the product, and this type of barriers, it may be useful on the roads, off the roads, and during the construction area also. And even unfortunately, during the agitation time also, for restricting people, this type of barriers have been used by the security system as well. So you have a good potential here. In India, we surely have a good potential in controlling those things, and it has been extensively used by the administration and the police department, these barriers. And this barrier can be very well be useful into areas like secured zone or airport, or you can say when the construction work is going on, road building, diversification of traffic. These are the products which are going to be a very useful product and has got good potential also. These are not costly products. The molds are not costly, and it will be a good brand image also, because you can create your own brand. And if you see the design here, you can always be also used for the advertisement purpose also. You can use this area as a design advertisement, and it gives you a brand valuation or identity as well. Sri Lanka is an island country, and a lot of dependencies there, and resources are needed to be generated. Some products are, you can see here, the boats, the life-saving boats, low-speed boats, the jackets seen, and fishing is a big industry, and now what is happening, unfortunately, due to a lot of fishing happening near the island, the fishermen have to go kilometers down the sea to catch fishes. In such cases, basically, you can always go for fish cages, which is getting popular globally, and a lot of fish cages have been created either in sea. And Sri Lanka is really, I would say, blessed with the rivers, the lakes which are there, big lakes. There you can have these fish cages, and you create a fishing. Actually, in India, fishing is considered to be a part of agro industry, and there's a lot of benefits are given to fishing industry as well as in India. So similar case, we need to look at this, and this will be a great move for a fishing industry in the inner part of the Sri Lanka or on the coastal, where the fisherman needs to go for a large distance to catch it. This will be a very beneficiary. Insulated containers here also for fishing industry, you need to have those floats. Typical dredging industry, Sri Lanka would be looking for dredging and all the things. There, the floats are required to be used for dredging industry. Buoys and basically they are floaters for creating artificial jetties, or basically to safeguard the floating mechanism. That is another important area where you can create these products. Solar water, solar float, basically for the solar energy and electrical generation. Lakes are one of the most favored places where you can create a solar floats, and solar panels can be installed in the lakes. There are two benefits here. One is basically you are utilizing the area which is not going to affect the habitat, and second thing, you will also be able to reduce the evaporation of the water of the lakes, which is being wasted. So these two things, even with the water below the solar panels, it keeps the solar panel cool enough to create more energy. So this is another very, very important industry. And probably when I was talking about contract manufacturing, there are many international solar, basically floating water solar panel manufacturers and project handlers. They come and install these things in the country, and where they need to have local manufacturer to supply this type of floats. And there basically we can use our connect, your connect and your business opportunities to be a contract manufacturer. That would be a real good potential business, because this cannot be transported from other countries down to your country. The cost of manufacturing, the cost of product becomes too high. And in that case, they will give you the mold and you make a product for them to supply at the cost which is feasible. So this is very, very important project and product which you need to look at, and you need to look at the business potential here. Roto molding has very unique application for the beautification and playstations, and I think you would be loving to go for these products, because a lot of appreciation would be coming down from your customers locally. And you can create really beautiful designs, you can create beautiful structures, you can marble structure. There are raw material available, and there are people who are ready to give the ready mix and ready products, raw material, for creating a lot of marble structures, colored compounds, colored products. And these products are not very costly. Molds are not very costly. You can develop yourself if you have got a capability, or you can get it from other part of the world, and you can get really good product range to be made, and can be supplied to the end user customers and all the same. Bus stops and the shade of bus stops have been roto molded, and this would be a really good potential for your market business. Artificial rocks and all these things are also products which are really good, and they really look natural when you are looking at it. I was talking about the technology which is still not many people are aware about it, the roto lining, where you are lining the metallic structure by polyethylene material. And this gives a good resistance towards chemical corrosion and all the thing. And this is one of the product which is very, very unique and needs a lot of technical inputs and technical knowledge. I would rather say that going for this product, you need to talk to a good technical consultant or technical, the machine manufacturers also. There are machine manufacturers who would be directly giving you these inputs and training as well. But surely this has got a good potential, and it may be a unique proposition for you, a USP for you, for keeping a brand image and brand status. So these are the products which are needs to be looked at. You have to look at it. I'm showing some of the products which may look a difficult product or difficult market, but I would like to just give you an idea how this product can be also be looked at for defense, for flood management, the slow speed boats, basically the flood barriers, which are very, very popular in countries where there is a flooding happening. And these barriers are really good and safeguarding. There are certain military boxes or ammunition boxes which is green and the gray color. They have been basically popularly used by the defense people. On the sea coast and all these things, there are the checks, basically security check cabins, which are busy wherever there is the beaches are there. This type of security cabins are good. Security cabins are also good where basically you want to control the traffic or control the secured areas with security, with looking at the security of important people. This type of products are being used in India and globally as well. Sri Lanka is not good with automotive development. We get normally all ready available cars in Sri Lanka. No, you'll find not a single automotive company in Sri Lanka to manufacture. So this is a visionary product which I am showing it to just to give you a a taste of the products what we can be made through roto molding, and a lot of different products can be made, fuel tanks and dashboards and air conveying systems and chairs. These are all products which have been very popular in roto molding industry and in automotive industry through roto molding. So this is to give you a flavor what beyond tanks you can look at. So when you see the materials, normally we are only aware that LLDP is the material, not anything other than that. But the global world has gone beyond LLDP material. Even in LLDP material, we are talking about different densities from low density to the high density material in LLDP. Today, when you see MDP, hexene grade material is becoming more and more popular. And this is the reason why it has got a good strength, good elongation, good tensile strength, and good ESCR properties. Now, these are the important properties for any product to sustain and to be for the long-term usage. And hence, hexene is getting more popular. Mostly what we are using is butene grade material. And we are, hexene is new entrance for last 5-6 years. It is in the market now. And octane is another grade which is going towards going for a very high capacity tanks of 25,000 liters or more than 25,000 liters capacity. People are going for metallocene and octane grade material. But most of them are in butene, and MDP is taking now with hexene as a base polymer. It is getting popular. There are a lot of different materials which are being used now and are being used for different applications, like barrier property for the gas and gasoline. LLDP is not a very good property, so it has to be lined with the nylon. So nylon and P combined tanks have been manufactured now for the petrol storage also. For petroleum storage also, people are going for double layer tanks. The multi-layer products are getting popular. And there are materials like nylon, polycarbonate, PVDF, polypropylene. Polypropylene is another material which is now getting popular everywhere because of its own strength and its own temperature resistance. LLDP normally goes up till 55, 50, 60 degrees. Polypropylene is a material which can withstand near to the 100 degrees centigrade. So for any high temperature application usage, polypropylene is getting popular. And the good part is that the same machine which you are using for LLDP, polypropylene can use the same technology, same parameters, and same processing conditions, and you can get a good product out of polypropylene. Polypropylene roto-molded materials are now available, and there are a few suppliers who are already giving these solutions. Reinforced polymer, cross-linked polyethylene foam, and for roto lining, microthin RL is the grade of material which has been used popularly for roto lining. One-shot foam and FR polyolefins are the advanced material which have been now used globally in roto molding industry. The very important part, when you're going beyond water tank, it is very important that quality are very, very important. The raw material property needs to be looked at. Now, at this stage, I would like to give you some takeaways or some points where you need to look at it when you're going for roto molding, even for the tank manufacturing. We are too, basically, when you are manufacturing, we are to take it to granted sort of attitude towards tank. We don't much believe, we depend on our operators, we depend upon our laborers. Normally, the quality control department is not very serious about tank manufacturing. Only weight of tank is been measured, or sometimes maximum thickness is measured. Nobody is bothered beyond that. But a lot of things are there which can fail the tank. And you may not know whether the tank is properly manufactured or been the quality, the requirement like tensile strength, all the other parameters like ESCR check, or basically finding bubbles or porosity and all things. We are never bothered about looking at it. The tank is one manufacturer, it goes to the product and to the end user. But when we are going beyond tank, quality is going to be a very, very important aspect, and we need to look at it. We use pulverized material, as you all know. 25-35 mesh is the most preferred. And we need to look very cautiously here because the particle size has to be spherical and without fishtails. Now, when the fishtails are created, If your pulverizing machine is not proper, if the blades are worn out, you start getting fisheye. Even when the blades are worn out, the particle size distribution is also disturbed. And you will get minimum maximum range and the differentiation is too high. When you are saying 25 mesh, it should be plus or minus 1 micron, one mesh. When you say 35, it should be 34 or 36, not beyond that. If it is 35 mesh powder and you have 25 mesh into it, and you have got 38 mesh into it, it is again a problem, because the lower the mesh, it will melt fast. Higher the mesh, basically, it will be basically, let's see, I'm sorry, lower the mesh, it will melt fast. Sorry, it will lower the mesh, it will be melting less, but the higher the mesh you go, it will melt fast, and there will be differential temperature which can decompose the polymer or oxidize the polymer. So you have to be very, very cautious about it. If you're grinding a powder, your mesh size needs to be very consistent and of the same size nearing to its requirement. The molecular weight distribution is a property of the raw material supplier. We need to check whether the molecular weight distribution is consistent or it doesn't have a wide range. It should be a narrow range. The molecular distribution has to be very narrow. It should not be very wide. Another very important characteristic is dry flow and bulk density. Very, very important. And there's a standard available, ASTM, ISO, and ARMO is American Roto Moulding Association standard, which gives a direction what should be the quality of dry flow and the bulk density. Your dry flow needs to be 25 to 32 seconds, and your bulk density has to be from 0.32 to 0.4 grams. So it is very important that these properties are to be checked when you are getting the pulverized material from the outsource partner, or if you are yourself pulverizing the machine. It's very important. I've made a note in the site, pulverize and micropellets. Micropellets is a new technology where we create a micropellet through extruder, not by pulverizing the material, and we get a micropellet. And these micropellets are very popular when you are go for customized engineering products, especially in the fuel tank manufacturing. Micropellets plays a vital role because they are of the same size, and that gives a uniformity in processing. Another very important parameter which is in the controlling the process parameters. Now, if you see the photograph, these are you have to control the processing happening in the mold. Unfortunately, roto molding is an energy consuming technology. It is heated, the oven is heated, then oven is heating the mold surface, then the mold surface is heating the material. So it's a basically indirect heating mechanism, and a lot of energy, heat energy is being utilized to manufacture a product. So it is very important that how you control the temperature, because you also need a good product, good melt without decomposing the polymer. And it is very important to understand here that controlling mold temperature is one of the tasks, but controlling the internal mold temperature is also another very important when you are talking about customized product, and that is known as PAT. It has been measured by a technology which has been created by two experts, I would like to say. One is basically he's using the Rotolog, which is a technology wherein there's a remote controlled thermocouple which has been put in the oven, and which measures the temperature inside the oven to understand whether the melt is happening completely or it has been done properly. And second one is 493K, which is a European company, which also gives a similar solution for the remote control of temperature and to measure the inside. If you see the graph here, I hope you are able to see it. There basically, when you see a differential temperature happening, you need to understand that how the plastic melts and how the cooling is affecting the product quality. This type of graph will give you an idea whether the product has been melted properly, compacted properly, and has been processed properly. The second most important part in the roto molding process is the wetting of the mold. Now, if you have an improper venting, you create a pressure into the mold, and sometimes we have seen in instances where the mold has bulged and exploded. And that happens because when you heat the material, it expands. And if the venting is not proper, then probably the mold becomes distorted and get collapsed. So normal thumb rule is that you, for venting, you need to have 25 mm per cubic meter of mold. You should have a 25 mm of the vent. But multiple vents are always welcome, so that you don't create pressure into the mold. Sometimes when you are looking for a good dimension tolerances, where you like normally when you see a water tank, the shrinkage is around 3% to 5%. In tank, the dimensions are not very important because here or there shrinkage will not make much of a difference in the tank sizing and all the same. But when you are going for a custom molded and you need to go for repeatable dimensions, then probably you need to act in a different manner. You need to create a pressure in the mold so that basically there is a less shrinkage and you are able to maintain the dimensions. And in that case, basically, there is a technology where SuperVent is a silicon venting system, which basically is unidirection. When the pressure, the vents are basically designed for a certain pressure. So it creates a pressure, but not to the extent that the molds get bulged. It will release the pressure as soon as it goes beyond certain pressure requirement. And sometimes to avoid oxidation of material, nylon pressure is being used in the mold. Permanent temperature feedback, K control or remote control temperature control has been incorporated in the machines, so that basically we monitor the control temperature to extent without depending on the operator or the person who is operating the machine. It gives you a better control, consistent control, and product quality comes out better than doing a manual control system. RotoSim is a computer simulation software which is available now. Before you put the product on the mold or on the machine, with the size and all the parameters you feed into the computer, and the computer will immediately give you a idea about the rotation speed of X and Y, temperature parameters, the material property, what should be the cycle time, what should be the weight, what should be the thickness. This all details will be automatically been derived once you feed all this data, and it will be a very easy aspect, and your product will come first time right. And that's the very important software and system which can be incorporated when you are going for a customized or unique production facility. We have seen some technologies which are available, machines. We know rock and roll machine, we know biaxial machine. But now when you see the world is going towards non-heated oven technology, where the smart machines and robo machines have been utilized, where the molds are also been preheated or they have got a heating mechanism. So that's what the world is going on today. The smart machines basically have got a very compact size, and the molds are self-heated by electrical heating or by oil heating, and you don't require a own structure there, saving upon a lot of area. And you are, because since the temperature controllers can vary the temperature from different zone and different areas, you are also able to very clearly monitor the product thickness and the flow of material. This is a very important thing, and you will be able to control and get product repeatability to a much closer tolerances. So why it is important to upgrade yourself? It is very important because you have to think beyond tank, and it's important to understand that technology upgradation will increase your knowledge. It will increase your efficiency. It will make you more disciplined, going towards standard practices. So you need to have this thought process going if you are trying to upgrade yourself. We need to understand the need, and we have to keep check on our mistakes. See, it is very important that we need to get aware ourselves. We need to have good training. We need to prepare standard operational documents. SOP needs to be made. You have to check on your mistakes. You have to control on your mistakes. And with good analytics like 8D or YY analysis, it will help you to restrict the mistakes or restrict the quality issues which you have faced earlier. And communication with your team and documenting the action is the best solution. I think this is the one of the most important aspect when you are upgrading yourself or in the normal process as well. If you are communicating very clear, if you are able to identify the mistake and share with people and see that the things have been done in a right manner, right thing, the mistakes will be avoided and you can stop repeating those mistakes. It's very important. So here basically, if I got a time, sir, now, or we have gone beyond.
We can spend a few time.
Yeah, I'll take another 5 to 6 minutes, 7 minutes, not more than that.
Okay.
If you can allow me.
Yes, sir.
So here these are some of the takeaways and learning what I have learned from my career and from my roto molding industry. I would like to share this. And these are very important aspects where you need to see the causes and the probable solutions. You know, I'm not thumping on that this is the only solution. It may always come from your operator, from your helper, worker, your manager, even the person who is sitting beyond other part of the world. So it's just an expression where I have learned something which I would like to share. And I think this would be a good takeaway for the technology people or the people from the shop floor to understand that what are the reasons and what are the solutions for this. And I think it may be used for getting better quality product. Ununiform heating and cooling, insufficient venting, and differential temperature on the mold is a cause for warpage. Now, when you see this, what you need to do? Warpage is what? Warpage is basically creating unwanted stresses in the product and ununiform heating. So first thing is that you need to normalize the heating. So if you do a slow cooling, the heat in the mold as well as the product gets equilibrium on all over the part, and you get a uniform heating, and the cooling becomes uniform. Your product also stabilizes very smoothly. Many things happen that there are in oven. Sometimes what happens that the mold is positioned in such a way that it gets uneven heating on one part and higher heating on the other part low. So there it is required to do proper shielding also. Or sometimes you have to remove shielding to get normalized heating. Or you have to change the position of mold, or you have to change the arms also. So it's very important that you have to look at those aspects and see that what is the solution of it. You have to see the vent size. Problem is that if there is a low venting, there will be ununiform heating happening or pressure created on the product inside the mold, creates warpage or creating stress. Sometimes uniquely, we have found that the pigment which we are going to use, so the pigment plays a vital role. The reason is that the pigment is a non-polymeric material, and if there's a concentration of pigment at one area or the dispersion of polymer pigment is not there, it creates an unwanted stress on the product, and that creates a warpage. So you have to see these aspects as well. Shrinkage, normal shrinkage is 3 to 5%, and if it is very important that if you check on material density, if you want to control the things, the mold surface, you need to look at it, part design or geometry. These are the three aspects which basically are a reason for shrinkage. And when you see lower the density, low is the shrinkage. It is a fact. Improve the mold inner surface finish, control layer of mold release. It's very important. What happens that we sometimes extensively use the mold release. Now, mold release, you think that it is beneficiary, but it is not always. Sir, if you put a mold release improperly, the layer is not been cleaned properly, or basically it has been unevenly given, then you, rather than finding a solution of releasing the product, you are started creating the problems. The mold sticking will take place, the shrinkage will be uneven, the product warpage will be seen. So it is very important that whenever you are using mold release, you use a standard mold release chemicals, and you clean the surface area before you go into production. It is very, very important. And that is the first caution your operator or your person who is doing the mold cleaning or adding mold release needs to know about it. You have to be very cautious, and this will give you the product quality also and inner surface also. Check on the vent size. Need, you can use pressure during the molding. Here also the pigment will play a vital role, and the product design needs to be looked at. Too much of flat region or flat area in the roto molding is going to give you a shrinkage issue. So you have to create a ribs or any design structure or give a bend or a angle to reduce the shrinkage. That's very, very important aspect. Blowholes, other than parting line, blowholes are the issue. And I will tell you the fact that if anybody is telling that roto-molded products are free of blowholes, never believe. There are always a micro porosity, and blowholes have been there in the product, which cannot be seen by naked eye. But when you see a microscopic look, there will be always a blowhole into the products. So smaller blowholes on the surface, not much of an issue. But when it is a blowholes is creating a porosity, then the problem is the product quality may be affected. So you have to be very, very important thing. You have to look at it, and the need are very, very important also to check on that. So cleaning of mold is important. Buffing and polishing the mold is very, very important. There should be no burr or no basically rough surface needs to be there in the mold. Your mold has to be smooth and it has to be polished properly. The fabricated mold, the welding area are the dangerous point. The joining areas are really dangerous. If it has not been done properly, you need to look at it. Otherwise, they are the creator of blowholes or blowholes. And insert area, basically you have to see if you are using inserts, metal inserts, then you have to see that how the fixation of metal inserts or the positioning of metal inserts need to be looked at. Otherwise, you will be in a issue where basically there is a issue of material movement or the reaching of material at the insert part is difficult. Then you will find blowholes other than parting lines. Other than parting, if it is the blowholes are in the parting line, you need to immediately look at the alignment. The parting line is either loose or there is a air ventilation happening through the parting line. You need to have a proper closing of parting line or sealed parting lines. That's very, very important. Inside rough surface, feel like bubbles and all the thing. It's very normal when you are using a non-standard material or when you are trying to use a recycled material where the grinding and history of recycled material is not known. It's very, very important when you're using a recycled material, which is very important. And we need to understand that you have to use a known recycled material when you are processing recycled material. And the grinding and the pulverizing quality of that recycled material also needs to be looked at, that it is free of any fish tails and highly differential particle size. So that's very important. And uneven heating is also going to create a big problem. Your check on MFI material, low MFI material, or you have to check on, you have to see that it is a low MFI material, which is going to create this problem, because as soon as you go for low MFI, the flow properties also change drastically and your material flow is not happening appropriately, which can create a rough surface inside. Improper filling of mold, there are again, this is a design of mold, the flow is not been properly. Quality of raw material is very, very important, because particle soil is going to play a vital role here. Cold spot and the shape of mold is very important. Cold spots are there where basically heating is inefficient, or sometimes the heating is very high on that area. So these are very, very important. You have to check on open air flow, and if mounting has to be changed, you have to change the mounting as well. Look for the balancing of mold. If there is a length to width difference is too high, then you need to balance it on the basically the arm what you want to use. You have to convert from straight arm, you have to go for a offset arm. It's very, very important to understand that. Uneven thickness, again, it's a big issue. where if you are having uneven heating is there, you are shielding the flow of material, the XY rotation is not proper. So these are all the things which we need to look at it, and we have to correct ourselves to show that how the things needs to be taken care of. So to conclude, and what is the crux of my presentation here is that what I have shown is just a window. You need to go through a gate and look at the market, and it's immense opportunities are there. It needs your eyes, and your lookout needs to be taken care of. With necessary development, many new products can be looked at or replaced. You need to put your thought process, you have to discuss with your team, look at the surrounding market needs. Conventional product can be converted to our thought of process also. Selection of material, mold, as well as processing technology needs to be understood very well. Some investments are needed to go for a standardized product, which we need to justify and also go for it. We have to look for beyond conventional roto molding process. Single material, multi-material, as well as hybrid material, metal and plastic, roto lining, which I was talking about. We need to go from away from our biaxial roto molding if need. I am not saying that we should always go for robotics or smart machines. These are not a cheap option. Biaxial machines are the one of the best machines, but the important part is that the machine which we are using needs to be maintained well. Proper parameters needs to be controlled to see that the machine is updated on a regular basis. Use some ancillaries, use preventive maintenance, and work collaboratively with the machine manufacturer to see that your machine functions well, your X rotation and Y rotations are consistent, and they are not varying. It's very important in roto molding. Your machine needs to be smooth and no jerky movement needs to be there. So I would not recommend to go for robotics or smart machine immediately, but your present machine can also give you a product of your liking. But those machine needs to be properly maintained and no jerky movements needs to be incorporated. You need to look at it very seriously. Secondary heated molds, again, the technology need. We can look at the quality of tolerances and need of sharpness of the product. It has to be defined and accepted. It has got a vast opportunity. It's only our individual's imagination for application and move ahead in this development. Thank you very much. I think I have been able to give you some idea or the vision where you can move ahead and look at it. It's your decision to go in that direction. Your ideas can be better than what I have shown you here. And you can always imagine and think of any new products. I am sharing my contact details. I'm always available for this industry and for the plastic industry especially. Any question or query you have got in your mind and would like to check on personally with me, you're always welcome. I will try my best to respond to you. My mail ID and cell number are shared here. You can always write me down. One news I would like to share with you basically, STAR is an Society of Asian Roto Molders. It's a roto molding association in India. And along with the Plast India, just before that, basically we are having an annual conference in Delhi from 28 to 30, 2023. And I think this would be a very good opportunity to meet a lot of international, because a lot of international speakers and technologists are coming down for this presentation. It's a 2 days conference. And I think it would be a great beneficiary to look at out of box, and the team in Sri Lanka who are looking for developing new products or developing new technologies or thinking to go beyond tank. I think this would be a great opportunity to come to this seminar and attend. And simultaneously, you can also visit Plast India, which is going to happen soon after that. Thank you very much again. I hand over back to Mr. Pio.
Thank you, Mr. Trivedi, for that insightful session on looking beyond rotational molding for water tanks. I think we have exceeded our time, but we have time for 1 or 2 questions maximum. And then what we can do is we can collate whatever questions that the participants have and get it across to Mr. Trivedi and ensure that we can get your response.
Sure.
Also, we will add Mr. Trivedi to the WhatsApp group that was created on Roto Moulding webinar, so that maybe he could answer any questions.
Sure.
Anybody would like to ask any questions, any clarifications? Okay, so since we are running short of time, I would like to please hand this over to Mr. Prabha Jayasinghe, who is the Secretary of the Plastics and Rubber Institute of Sri Lanka, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Pio. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Plastic and Rubber Institute of Sri Lanka, I would like to thank our key resource person, Mr. Prashant Trivedi, who currently working as a head of operations, engineering plastic division at Locksmith Industries Limited, India, for conducting effective and valuable session with related to roto molding process, applications, and manufacturing techniques. Also, a special thanks to our today's moderator, Mr. Pio Perra, the chairman of Seminars, Publication and Image Building Subcommittee, for connecting us with our key resource person. And another special thanks to our executive committee members and Seminars, Publication and Image Building Subcommittee members. Last but not least, thanking to all participants and the admin staff, especially Mr. Chaminda Perra, for your effort to make this event successful one. Thank you very much for all, and hope to meet you all again with our next webinar session. Have a great weekend. Good night.